We'll go to number 5. Randy of Loxley says, after the white throne judgment and the second death, this is in the book of Revelation, he's using terms that talk about things that happen there at the end of time here, or I should say at the changing of time. So after the white throne judgment and the second death, Revelation 21:10, where do the sinners come from that they are kept outside the New Jerusalem? Revelation 22:15, love your ministry. This is an interesting question. I think a lot of us, and by the way, thanks, Randy, for loving my ministry. I love it too, for different reasons, I'm sure, but I'm grateful to get to do this. So this gives me pause too. When I read Revelation, I read this and I go, wait, what? So let me back up a little bit, and we'll just say there's a discussion of like the location, the eternal location of the righteous, of the saved. And here they are, they experience these things, and you would say these might be literal or they might be symbolic. I'm not going to try and weigh in on that. But here's the description of some of those things. Blessed are those who wash their robes so that they may have the right to the tree of life and that they may enter the city by the gates. I'll just weigh in a little bit. Forgive me, I can't help myself. Those who wash their robes seems to be clearly symbolic about forgiveness, okay? That they may have the right to the tree of life. Remember there was a tree of life in the garden? There's also one described in Revelation in the New Jerusalem, in the city that we will inhabit for eternity when heaven meets earth. The point is that we're enjoying eternal life now. That they may enter the city by the gates. So they're welcomed. They're citizens. They belong in the city. Verse 15 then describes another group of people that are, quote, outside, right? So outside are the dogs and the sorcerers and the sexually immoral and murderers and idolaters and everyone who loves and practices falsehood. So this picture of a city where we're living and we can go in and out of the city, right? Where we enjoy creation, we come and enjoy the presence of God. That's the picture in Revelation 22 here. Does that then mean that there's this group of unsaved people that just live on the planet Earth outside the city and they're allowed to meander and roam around the earth, but they can't come in? And I think that that's what my Western eyes see when I read verse 15, but I don't think that's what the original readers would have seen when they read it. So my opinion would be this, that when in a Jewish context and with the idea of banishment or not being part of the kingdom, that's the things that are weighing behind the term outside in verse 15. I'll put it on your screen again. Outside are the dogs, the sorcerers, the sexually immoral, the murderers, the idolaters. And dogs here is a symbolism for those that don't belong, uncleanness. So when it says outside, it doesn't mean physically outside the gates. There's a group of people that fit this description. I think all it means is barred from being part of the city are people that meet this description. So they're not necessarily outside nearby. They're just not allowed to be part of this experience. So that's where verse 15, I think, stumbled me at a younger age. But as I read things like what it means to be in or out of the kingdom, and Jesus' description of being in or out of the kingdom, and then I tie that in to Revelation or the Old Testament description of being outside, like they'll be outside. These are people who aren't part of the group, aren't part of the kingdom. They're not people who are located nearby, just outside the walls. That would be my interpretation of that. So all it's saying is they're not in the city, put it that way, not experiencing the unity and love that happens there because of their choices.